If you ask yourself, why am I here? What's my purpose? How can I fulfill my potential? You're in the right place. Welcome to the Lifestyle, Relationships, and Career Human Design series on Insight Timer. I'm your host, Vanessa Naja. My mission is to help you be on purpose and fulfill your potential by aligning in body, mind, and spirit so you can feel empowered, joyful, connected, and free. I am so excited to share with you how to do that through human design. If it feels aligned, I'd love it if you follow me on Insight Timer and share with your friends. Now let's get to the episode. It's always a good idea to have your human design chart with you when listening. You can get yours for free by doing an internet search for free human design chart. Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Lifestyle, Relationship, and Career Human Design podcast. In today's episode, we are going to go over the human design centers. And this is going to be a brief introduction to the centers. My original plan for episodes 3 through 7 was actually to go over each human design type in more detail. And that is actually how I learned human design. I learned types before centers. As I was preparing, though, it actually makes a lot more sense to learn more about the centers first, because how centers are configured is a huge part of what makes your human design type. So understanding a little bit more about the centers can be very helpful. So in the human design body graph, which is a visual representation of your design, it shows you how your energy flows, where you have access to consistent energy, where your energy is inconsistent, where you send energy out into the world and to others, and where you receive energy from the world and others. Your body graph also shows you your gifts and the areas where you might be challenged and are designed to gain wisdom. The body graph is composed of 9 geometric shapes, which are the energy centers. They're loosely adapted from the Hindu chakra system, and they're in charge of energy in specific areas of our bodies and lives. In your chart, you might notice, for most people, some of the centers are going to be colored in, and this means that they are defined. In your defined centers, you have consistent access to the energy governed by that center. You radiate it out into the world, and other people can sense and feel that energy from you. The centers that are in white in your body graph are undefined, and these are areas where you have inconsistent access to the energy governed by that center. You take that energy in from other people and planetary transits, and you'll amplify that energy as well. You can think of your defined centers as broadcasting stations and undefined centers as receiving dishes that receive and amplify the signal from the broadcasting stations. In your undefined centers, you can basically borrow energy, but it's not your own energy and you have inconsistent access to it. So just to note that every single one of us has everything that is in the chart. We have access to all of it. Some things we have defined and some are undefined. So in some areas, we have consistent access to that energy, and in other areas, the access is inconsistent. And whether you have a center defined or undefined is not good or bad. This is just how your energy operates in that particular center, and whether you have consistent or inconsistent access to it. The centers that are defined in your chart are part of your life curriculum and where you will learn lessons within yourself. The undefined centers are areas where you actually learn more through your relationships. These are areas of great potential wisdom for you. And again, this is places where you will really learn through other people. How your centers are configured is a really big part of determining your human design type. As we go over the 9 centers, it's going to be helpful for you to have your chart with you so you can see if they're defined, colored in, meaning you have consistent access to this energy, or undefined, white, meaning your access to the energy is inconsistent. And again, please remember that it isn't good or bad whether you have a center defined or undefined, it's just different and part of what makes you unique. The colors of the defined centers don't necessarily mean anything. So in your defined center, it doesn't matter what the color is. It only matters if it's defined, colored in, or undefined white. So starting at the top of the chart, we have the crown center. This is the upward facing triangle, and it governs inspiration, thinking, and mental pressure. It is one of two pressure centers in the chart, and it puts us under the pressure to figure things out, to be inspired, and to think. Below that, we have the ajna, and this is the downward facing triangle. It's one of three awareness centers in the chart, and this particular one is about mental awareness. It's where we process information, organize ideas and concepts, and prepare for communicating them when the time is right. Then we have the throat center. This is the square at the top of the chart under the head and ajna. It's the hub of the body graph, and this is the center for communication and taking action. How your throat center is configured is a big part of determining your human design type. Below the throat, we have the diamond shape, which is the G center. It's in the middle of the chart. It governs love, identity, and direction in life. And no one actually knows for sure what the G stands for in G center. Next to the G center on the right side, we have the heart center, and this is also known as the will or ego center. It's a small upward-facing triangle, and it is one of four motors in the chart. And motors are centers that drive energy. The heart, ego, will center is responsible for self-esteem, ego, willpower, and self-worth. In the chakra system, we have the heart chakra. In human design, it's believed that this actually split into two and is now the G center and the heart will center. This explains why there are 9 centers and not 7. There's another center that also split. So below the G center, we have the sacral center, and this is the square second from bottom in the chart. This is the most powerful motor in the body, and it's responsible for life force and workforce energy, as well as sexuality and reproduction. How this center is configured is another big part of determining your human design type. Then we have the spleen center, and this is the right pointing triangle on the left of the chart. This is the second of 3 awareness centers, and it governs instinct, intuition, survival, and health. Fears around survival live in this center, and this is about body and health awareness. On the right side of the chart, we have the emotional solar plexus center. This is the left pointing triangle. This is also one of the 4 motor centers, and it's also the 3rd awareness center. So we have a motor and an awareness center, and this is very significant. This governs emotional awareness and spirituality, as well as creativity. And this is where emotional wisdom lies in the chart. In the chakra system, we have just the solar plexus chakra. In human design, it's believed that this area split into the spleen center and the emotional solar plexus center. So again, we have 2 centers that split from the chakra system, the heart and the solar plexus, and this is why we have 9 centers in human design and 7 chakras. At the bottom of the chart, we have the root center. It's the square at the very bottom. This is the second pressure center in the chart, and it governs adrenaline pressure, stress, and evolution. And this is the pressure to get things done. And this is the 4th motor in the chart, so it also drives energy. And that is your brief introduction to the human design centers. And it tells us more about what areas of our bodies and lives are governed by the centers, what it means to have a center defined or undefined in your chart. In the following episodes, I will go into each human design type in more detail. And it's going to be helpful to know a little bit about the centers because they are an important part of configuring your type. That's it for today's episode. I know your time is important, and I'm so grateful you chose to spend it with me. It would mean the world to me if you rate this episode and include a review on what landed for you. You can also include any questions you have or what else you'd like to learn about. And the absolute best compliment is if you share it with someone you think will benefit. It really helps me spread the message. Love and blessings to you.
Download Insight Timer to listen to this track ad-free.